Jade Cargill is one of the most underrated wrestlers at AEW. She is the TBS champion, and now she is 30-0, and I don't see her losing the TBS championship anytime soon. In her recent match done with Marina Shafir, Jade did way better than anybody expected. I would go so far as to say that this match was her best. She played up the crowd, looked strong, and slammed Marina Shafir through a table. The match was truly a clash of styles. It was Jade's power-based defense against Shafir's striking and submission-based offense. The match lasted for 11 minutes and 38 seconds. It was also one of the longest matches done by Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is green like money. She tokened this phrase after fans complained that she was too green in the ring and needed to be placed within another position in the company, or she needs to be off screen. Regardless of how some fans feel, Jade Cargill is money. For the last few weeks, AEW has had a decline in viewership. However, whenever Jade has a match, the viewership slightly goes up. Just earlier this year, Jade Cargill vs. Ruby Soho outdrew Danielson and Paige in the most demos. So it goes without question that Jade Cargill is a star on AEW. She has commercial appeal and is capable of bringing in new viewers that have never watched the wrestling product. A lot of people get frustrated with how green she is in the ring and seem to overlook the improvement that she has made with her character, promos, and the evolution of her gimmick. One thing that I love about Jade's streak is over the span of her career, you can clearly see the improvement of her character and in-ring talent. Recently, it was just confirmed on this week's past episode that Jade is now the face of the Baddie Faction with Kiara Hogan and Red Velvet. Many fans are excited for this new group, but they wonder how the group got formed when Jade beat both women to further her career. It could possibly be that the three women bonded through battle. While going up against Jade, she earned both women's respect and opened up their eyes to her way of doing things. In a recent interview, Jade shared how she has recently become more social backstage and how she tries to form bonds and friendships with her co-workers. Outside of the ring and backstage, the women have become closer, even going as far as to do TikToks together. If you have watched the vlogs of AEW talent, then you would know that Jade Cargill has been on the vlogs of other AEW athletes. Being connected to Jade Cargill on screen could bring Red Velvet and Kiara Hogan more benefits. They could get more screen time and story opportunities. Both of their characters have gotten wins on AEW Dark and Elevation, yet they have never really capitalized off of the momentum or got placed in a big moment that defined their careers, except for being in the ring with Jade. The crowd has always been flip-floppy when it comes to Red Velvet. She gets cheered and booed depending on the city that AEW is in and who she is going against. I believe that Red Velvet's connection to Brandi Rhodes on screen played a factor in fans not being able to accept her in certain spaces and storylines. Red Velvet has evolved her character, and hopefully now that her and Kiara Hogan are connected to Jade Cargill, they can finally shine and their story can be used to push the stories in the AEW women's division. For Jade to remain the TBS champion, she is going to need help as the competitors get harder. Her creating a faction or a stable to increase the length of her title reign should not be shocking. Things are done like this all the time in wrestling to protect the champion. Both women saw that doing things for fan approval in the end only got them so far in the company. Now, in order to have staying power, to have screen time and good stories, they need to think about themselves. And why not form a faction with Jade Cargill, who is one of the top women in the AEW division right now. One of the matches that I want to see so bad, because to me it seems to fit well with the story Jade is in right now, is Jade Cargill versus Kris Statlander. I believe that both women are physically gifted and are around the same height. A match between those two would be a banger. Jade has gotten better in ring and Kris has completely changed her gimmick. Even though she is in a feud with Layla Hirsch, I would love to see these two collide. It would be great to see who Red Velvet would side with, if she would choose business over friendship. It could be one hell of a feud, and I would love to see how this plays out on the screen. Another TV angle that can be done is Jade Cargill and the Baddie Faction against Britt Baker and her group, because Jade just recently got called out by Britt Baker, so I would actually love to see those two collide. But we have to see how AEW is going to put those two within the same, story arc. The only way that would work out is Britt Baker wanting the TBS championship in order to dethrone Jade Cargill and prove that she is the one and only face of the women's division, and that she's the only one capable of leading the AEW women's locker room into the future of professional wrestling. If you have recently become a fan of Jade Cargill and you would like to see some of her matches, go back and watch the matches that she did with Red Velvet. That was really the only feud that she has been in that actually had a story. The other ones, they've been fast-paced and they haven't had a good build. But if you really want to see Jade have a feud with somebody, go back and watch her matches with Red Velvet. Now remember, Red Velvet was not the first choice for Jade to feud with. It was actually Brandi Rhodes. But at that time, Brandi got pregnant. So that kind of added a little spin onto their feud. Another match that Jade performed in well was her match against Anna Jay. That match was good, and it also introduced Ty Conti as being Jade Cargill's next competitor after she defeated Anna Jay.